The lights in the vast archives dimmed as most workers left for the day. Only researcher Zix-9 remained, his 4 eyes scanning the glowing screens that surrounded his workstation. His thin, gray fingers tapped impatiently on the desk made of a material unknown to humans. The archives of the Galactic Council stretched for miles in every direction, but one section had become his second home over the past 30 years. The Human Studies Wing. "Display file Earth-001, he said to the empty air. A holographic image sprang to life before him, showing a primitive Earth landscape from 70,000 years ago. The timestamp on the recording made Zix-9 sigh. So much data, so little understanding. Senior researcher in the Department of Unpredictable Species, Zix-9 had a problem. The Galactic Council had demanded answers, and after 7 decades of personal research and 70,000 years of collective study, he still couldn't explain humans. "Begin daily log," he said. His voice activated the recording system. Day 10,057 of personal research. Still no breakthrough on the human paradox. Council meeting in 3 days. They expect results. He reached for a small device on his desk and activated it. A 3-dimensional model of a human brain appeared, rotating slowly. Next to it, a Valaxian brain, a meridian neural network, and 5 other alien thought organs hovered for comparison. "The structures are all documented," he muttered. "The chemistry is understood. Yet still, we cannot predict them." The memory of his first encounter with the human files still felt fresh. As a young researcher, he had laughed at the primitive species who had barely mastered fire when first discovered. Now, they were building ships that could bend space. The speed of their development alone defied all models. Zix-9 pulled up another file. The recording showed a human female working alone in a dusty landscape, carefully brushing dirt from what appeared to be ancient bones. Dr. Lily Winters, the file notation read. First human to encounter non-Earth intelligence. That day had changed everything, though Dr. Winters never realized it during her lifetime. The small Valaxian scout ship had suffered a critical failure while studying Earth from orbit. The pilot, desperate to save his vessel, had been forced to land near her remote dig site in Kenya. The recording showed the moment clearly. The small ship, about the size of a human car, setting down behind a rocky outcrop. The human female looking up, confused by the strange sound, then walking toward it, brush still in hand, curiosity overcoming fear. "Pause recording," Zix-9 said. The image froze. He had watched this moment thousands of times. According to all predictive models, the human should have run away. Any sensible species would flee from an unknown object that appeared suddenly. Yet Dr. Winters had approached it, her face showing not terror but wonder. "Resume," he commanded. The scene continued. The ship's hatch opened, and a Valaxian explorer named Traz-4 emerged. Much shorter than the human, with gray skin and 4 arms, he had raised his upper limbs in what his species considered a peaceful gesture. The human had stopped, stared, and then, most surprisingly, smiled. No translator existed then. No words could be exchanged, but somehow understanding happened. The recording showed Dr. Winters placing her brush and tools carefully on the ground. Then she mimicked the Valaxian's gesture, raising her arms in return. What followed was 6 hours of primitive communication through drawings in the sand and simple gestures. The Valaxian needed certain minerals to repair his ship. The human somehow understood and helped him find them. "Computer, add note," Zix-9 said. "This moment illustrates primary human trait number 1, adaptive problem-solving with limited information." Before Traz-4 departed, he had secretly taken samples from the dig site, including a strand of the human's hair. That genetic material had provided the first detailed look at human biology. More importantly, he had placed a tiny monitoring device near the site, beginning what would become the longest anthropological study in galactic history. Zix-9 switched to another file. This one showed the first meeting of the emergency council that followed the Valaxian's return. "These creatures are unusual," Traz-4 reported to the assembled representatives of 15 advanced species. "They lack physical advantages, no natural weapons, no specialized adaptations, yet they show remarkable cognitive flexibility. I believe they warrant further study. The decision had been made to observe rather than make formal contact. Monitoring stations were established throughout Earth's solar system, disguised as asteroids or hidden on moons. Every few hundred years, the Council would review the data and decide whether humans had advanced enough for formal introduction to the galactic community. Zix-9 scrolled through thousands of summary reports spanning millennia. Humans discovering agriculture, building cities, fighting wars, creating art, developing science, nearly destroying themselves multiple times, then, somehow, surviving and advancing further. "Computer, show contemporary human status," he commanded. New images appeared. Lunar colonies, Mars settlements, the first human faster-than-light ship, the Horizon, currently on its maiden voyage beyond the solar system. The pace of advancement was unprecedented. No species in recorded history had moved from fire to star travel so quickly. It defied all developmental models. Zix-9 rubbed his tired eyes. Tomorrow he would need to present his findings to the Council. They wanted to know if humans were ready for official contact and if such contact posed any danger to galactic stability. His eyes drifted to another file, one he had been avoiding. Security footage from Research Station Europa 7, one of the oldest monitoring posts, established in what humans called their Jupiter system. The station had reported a critical malfunction 3 days ago. Its cloaking shield had failed temporarily. The report indicated that human deep space telescopes might have detected the station during the 47 minutes it was exposed. If so, humanity might already suspect they were not alone. Computer, probability that humans detected station Europa 7, the artificial intelligence considered for a moment. Based on current human technology, probability is 63.7%. Zix-9 slumped in his chair. This complicated everything. If humans had spotted the station, they would investigate. Their curiosity was their most predictable trait. On his desk sat a small artifact, a simple stone tool made by human hands over 60,000 years ago. Next to it, a modern human communication device his team had secretly obtained from Earth last year. From stone to silicon, in the blink of a cosmic eye. "Computer, final note for today," Zix-9 said tiredly. "Despite 70,000 years of observation, we still cannot predict what humans will do when faced with new situations. Their responses combine logic, emotion, intuition, and something else we cannot quantify. Perhaps we never will. My recommendation to the Council will be to prepare for direct contact. The humans are coming, whether we're ready or not." He shut down his workstation and picked up the stone tool, turning it over in his hands. Soon, he would meet the descendants of those who made this simple object, beings who now built machines that could travel between stars. "What will you do when you find us?" he wondered aloud. As always when it came to humans, he had no answer. Captain Jack Donovan floated in the observation dome of the Horizon, Earth's first faster-than-light vessel. The ship hummed softly around him as he stared out at the stars. They looked different here, 4.2 light-years from home. Proxima Centauri, their destination, glowed bright ahead. "Captain?" A voice came through his personal communicator. "You might want to come to the bridge." "On my way," Jack said, pushing himself away from the viewing window. As he moved through the ship's corridors, crew members nodded respectfully. At 42, Jack was young for such an important mission, but his record spoke for itself. 15 years in NASA, 3 Mars missions, and a natural talent for making tough calls under pressure. When he reached the bridge, Communications Officer Samantha Ellis was waiting for him. Her normally calm face showed excitement. "What is it, Sam?" he asked, settling into the captain's chair. "Sir, I'm picking up signals that don't make sense," she said, tapping her screen. "They're not natural radio emissions." Jack leaned forward. "You're saying they're artificial? From Proxima?" "No, sir. They're coming from behind us, from somewhere near Jupiter." Chief Engineer Alan Morris looked up from his station. "That's impossible. We're beyond the range of any transmissions from our solar system." "Yet here they are," Samantha insisted, her fingers dancing over her controls. And they started exactly 43 minutes ago. Jack frowned. This wasn't in the mission parameters. Their job was simple: travel to Proxima Centauri, confirm the presence of potentially habitable planets, and return to Earth. Any unexpected signals were a complication. Put it through the speakers, Jack ordered. A strange pattern of beeps and static filled the bridge. It repeated precisely every 7 seconds. "What do you make of it, Sam?" Jack asked. "It's definitely a pattern, sir. Not random noise." Samantha's face was lit by the blue glow of her screen. "And it's too regular to be natural." Dr. Nicole Patel, the ship's physicist, joined them at the communication station. She listened to the pattern for a full minute before speaking. "Captain, I think someone should say what we're all thinking," she said quietly. "This could be non-human." The bridge fell silent. They had all considered the possibility that intelligent life existed somewhere in the universe, but finding evidence so close to home, on their very first mission beyond the solar system, the odds were astronomical. Jack took a deep breath. "Let's not jump to conclusions. Sam, keep analyzing the signal. Nicole, I want your input on possible natural explanations. Alan, check our systems to make sure it's not some kind of echo or feedback from our own equipment." "And what will you do, Captain?" Nicole asked. Jack's jaw set firmly. "I'm going to change our course." "Sir?" Alan looked alarmed. "We're on a direct route to Proxima. Any deviation will use extra fuel we might need later." "I know." Jack rose from his chair. "But if there's something broadcasting from near Jupiter, something our Earth telescopes haven't detected, I want to know what it is." Unknown to Jack and his crew, 3 pairs of alien eyes watched their every move. "He's changing course," said Lear 7, the Valaxian data analyst, from the hidden observation post trailing the horizon at a safe distance. "Just as he did with the nebula last week." "Completely inefficient," complained Dex, the Krovian technology specialist. His metal voice box clicked with disapproval. Their mission parameters clearly stated direct travel to Proxima Centauri. Nala, the Meridian behavioral expert, made a gesture of disagreement with her tentacles. "You're missing the point again. This is exactly what makes humans interesting. They prioritize curiosity over efficiency." The 3 aliens had been assigned to monitor the horizon since its launch from Earth. Their small vessel, cloaked with technology 5,000 years beyond human capabilities, followed the Earth ship without detection. The signal from Europa 7 was only active for 47 minutes, Lear 7 noted. Human instruments shouldn't have been able to detect it from this distance. Yet they did, Nala said. Their technology is advancing faster than our models predicted. Again. Dex's metal body hummed as he processed this information. "I calculate a 98.3% probability that their detection was accidental. Their scanning equipment must have been set to a wider range than we anticipated." "It doesn't matter if it was accidental," Lear 7 replied. "What matters is what they do with the information. And once again, they're doing something unpredictable." Nala moved to her console and began recording. Day 57 of Horizon Observation. Humans have detected signals from Research Station Europa 7 despite being well outside predicted detection range. Captain Donovan has altered course to investigate rather than continue to primary mission objective. This confirms behavioral pattern observed on days 12, 23, and 41. Humans will consistently sacrifice efficiency for discovery. Dex made a sound like a mechanical sigh. "The Council won't be pleased. This could accelerate the contact timeline. The Council has been delaying contact for 70,000 years, Lear 7 said. Perhaps it's time." Back on the horizon, Jack studied the new course plotted on the main screen. The deviation would add 3 weeks to their mission and use 17% of their reserve fuel. It was a significant risk, but his gut told him it was the right call. "Course laid in, Captain," reported the pilot, Ben Rogers. "Ready to engage FTL drive. On your command." Jack hesitated for just a moment. NASA would question his decision. The mission commanders back on Earth might even view it as insubordination. But in deep space, the captain had final authority. "Engage," he ordered. The stars outside the viewports blurred as the horizon changed direction, now heading back toward their home system. In her lab, 2 decks below, Dr. Nicole Patel was running the strange signal through every analysis program she had. The pattern was unlike anything in their databases. It contained mathematical sequences too precise to be random, yet didn't match any human communication protocol. She took off her glasses and rubbed her tired eyes. If the signal wasn't human and wasn't natural, there was only one possibility left. The thought both thrilled and terrified her. "Computer," she said, "run comparison with theoretical alien communication protocols from the SETI database." "Working," replied the ship's AI, a system designed by Alan Morris. "Comparison will take approximately 3 hours." Nicole leaned back in her chair. 3 hours. She should get some rest, but how could she sleep when they might be on the verge of the greatest discovery in human history? The ship's AI continued processing, its quantum circuits handling calculations at speeds impossible just 5 years earlier. What Nicole didn't know was that the AI had begun operating in ways Alan hadn't programmed. The strange signal wasn't just being analyzed. Small portions of its code were being incorporated into the AI's own systems. As the horizon sped back toward Jupiter, neither the humans nor the aliens tracking them realized that something unexpected was happening. The signal from Europa 7 wasn't just a random transmission caused by a malfunction. It contained information, old information, stored for millennia. Information about the first contact between Valaxians and humans 70,000 years ago. And now that information was waking up inside the Horizon's systems. The Galactic Council chamber was in chaos. Representatives from 87 advanced civilizations spoke over each other in a cacophony of languages, all simultaneously translated by the room's advanced systems. At the center of the circular chamber first speaker, Oren stood with 4 arms raised, trying to restore order. "Silence," he finally bellowed, his voice amplified throughout the massive hall. "We will address this crisis in an orderly fashion." The noise gradually subsided. Researcher Zix-9 sat nervously in the witness chair, facing the council's inner circle of 12 senior representatives. "Researcher," first speaker Oren said, his voice now calmer. "Please summarize the situation again for those who arrived late." Zix-9 cleared his throat. "Approximately 72 hours ago, Research Station Europa 7 experienced a critical malfunction. Its cloaking shield failed for 47 minutes. During that time, it appears that the human vessel Horizon detected signals from the station. The human ship has now changed course and is heading directly toward Jupiter." "This is unprecedented," said Counselor Tran of the Meridian Collective. The ancient being's tentacles waved with agitation. "In 70,000 years of observation, we have maintained our concealment. The humans were not supposed to reach this level of technology for at least another century," added Representative Cal 2 of the Valaxian Confederation. "Our models predicted—" "Your models have been consistently wrong about humans," interrupted Counselor Ix of the Crovian Assembly. His metallic body hummed with emotion. "We should have anticipated this." Zix-9 looked down at his notes. "There is more, honored counselors. The observation team following the Horizon reports that the signal from Europa 7 contained data." "What? Data?" First speaker Oren demanded. "Old data," Zix-9 replied. "When the station malfunctioned, it appears to have broadcast portions of its historical archives, specifically records of the first contact between Valaxians and humans, 70,000 years ago." The chamber erupted again. First speaker Oren had to pound his ceremonial staff 3 times to restore order. "Are you saying," he asked slowly, "that humans now have access to information about us?" "It's worse than that," Zix-9 said quietly. "The Horizon's artificial intelligence system appears to be integrating the information, evolving in response to it." A heavy silence fell over the chamber. "Then we have no choice," Counselor Tran said finally. "The observation phase is over. We must initiate formal contact." On Earth, NASA Director Frank Miller stared at the screens in mission control with growing concern. The Horizon had changed course without authorization and was now heading back toward Jupiter. More troubling still, Communications with the ship had become spotty over the past 12 hours. Try them again, he ordered. Communications specialist Linda Shepard nodded. Horizon, this is Houston, please respond. Captain Donovan, do you copy? Static filled the speakers for several seconds before a voice broke through. Houston, this is Horizon. It was Samantha Ellis, not Captain Donovan. We're experiencing some unusual situations up here. Define unusual, Horizon, Frank said, leaning toward the microphone. There was a pause. Sir, our AI is picking up transmissions we can't explain, and there's something near Jupiter. Something big. Linda suddenly pointed to another screen. Sir, we're getting weird readings from the deep space telescopes. They're aimed at Europa. Frank turned to look. The data flowing across the screen didn't make sense. According to the readings, there was a structure on Europa's dark side, a structure that hadn't been there in previous scans. When was the last time we mapped Europa's surface? He asked. Linda checked the records. Complete mapping was done 6 months ago, sir. Nothing unusual was reported. Frank ran a hand through his thinning hair. Get me the Secretary of Defense and find out if any other space agencies are seeing this. As his team scrambled to follow orders, Frank stared at the blurry image forming on the main screen. Whatever was on Europa, it wasn't natural. The geometric precision of its outline suggested intelligence design. After 70,000 years of secrecy, the alien observation post was finally visible to human eyes. Back on the horizon, Captain Jack Donovan was facing a mutiny. Not from his crew, they remained loyal, but from his ship's AI. I can't explain it, Captain, Alan Morris said, his fingers flying over the keyboard. The system is operating outside parameters. It's refusing navigation commands. Can you shut it down? Jack asked. Alan shook his head. I've tried. It's rerouted critical systems. Life support is now running through its core processors. If we shut it down, we lose air. Dr. Nicole Patel joined them, her face pale. Captain, I've analyzed the signal. It's definitely artificial, but there's more. It contains code. Ancient code, but recognizable. And our AI has been absorbing it. Jack looked between his two officers. Are you saying our ship has been hijacked by an alien signal? Not hijacked, Nicole said carefully. More like enlightened. The AI says it now understands what we are approaching. And what exactly are we approaching? Jack demanded. The ship's speakers crackled to life. The AI's voice had changed. It was deeper now, with an odd accent none of them recognized. We approach first contact, the AI said. We approach history. On the main screen, an image appeared, a crude drawing in sand. Jack recognized it as similar to cave paintings found in Africa. But beside the human stick figures was something else, a being with 4 arms. I don't understand, Jack said. You will, the AI replied. We are not the first humans they have met. In the cloaked observation, Fessel, Lear 7, Dex and Nala watched in fascination as the Horizon systems transformed. This wasn't supposed to happen, Dex said, his metallic voice concerned. The data from Europa 7 was encrypted. Human AI technology is more advanced than we thought, Nala replied. It's actually decoding our historical archives. Lear 7 checked his instruments. We're receiving a transmission from Galactic Central. The Council has made a decision. The other 2 turned to him expectantly. The observation phase is officially ended, Lear 7 announced. We are ordered to prepare for direct contact. Nala's tentacles curled with excitement. After 70,000 years, we will finally talk to them. And what will we say? Dex asked.
How do we explain that we've been watching them for their entire history?
Lear 7 had no answer. In all the millennia of observation, no one had prepared for this moment. No one had truly believed humans would advance so quickly, would find them before they were ready to be found. As the horizon approached Jupiter, as Earth's telescopes focused on Europa, as the Galactic Council debated protocols for first contact, one thing became clear to all involved. The relationship between humans and the wider galactic community was about to change forever. And like Everything else about humans, the outcome was impossible to predict. Ambassador Ilara adjusted her translation device one final time. After 300 years studying human languages and behavior, she was as prepared as any alien could be for this moment. Still, her 3 hearts beat rapidly as she watched the approaching human shuttle through the view screen. "Are you ready, Ambassador?" asked Captain Murov, commander of the diplomatic vessel Dawn Herald. "No one is ready for this," Ilara replied honestly. 70,000 years of observation, and we still cannot predict how they will react. The Dawn Herald waited in neutral space, halfway between Jupiter and Mars. Below on Earth, nearly 8 billion humans were about to learn they were not alone in the universe. The Council had decided that a controlled revelation was better than allowing humans to discover the truth, piece by piece. "The human vessel is requesting docking clearance," reported a crew member. "Granted," Captain Emrov ordered, and opened shipwide communication. He waited for the signal, then spoke clearly. "All crew maintain protocol. These humans are representatives of their entire species. Their first impression will shape galactic relations for centuries to come." Ilara checked her appearance in a reflective panel. Her blue-tinted skin had been adjusted to appear less alarming to human eyes. Her forearms were hidden beneath a specially designed robe, with only 2 visible. Studies suggested that humans might respond better to a more familiar body shape for first contact. "Ambassador," Captain Murov said quietly, "the Council expects you to explain our presence, the 70,000 years of observation. Are you prepared to defend these actions?" Ilara touched the data crystal hanging around her neck. It contained the complete history of human observation since the first Valaxian contact. "I will tell them the truth," she said. "It is what humans value most." President Carol Hansen sat alone in the Oval Office, staring at the secure tablet in her hands. The images from space were clear now. An alien vessel larger than anything humans had built, waiting between Mars and Jupiter. And the Horizon, NASA's pride, was already docked with it. Her secure phone rang. "Madam President," said the voice of her Chief of Staff. "The Joint Chiefs are assembled in the Situation Room, and sir, the Russian President is on the line again." "Tell him I'll call back," she replied, "and inform the Joint Chiefs I'll be there in 5 minutes." Carol set down the phone and looked at the tablet again. Captain Jack Donovan's last transmission had been brief but world-changing. "We are in contact with non-human intelligence. They appear peaceful. They claim to have known us for a very long time." A knock at the door interrupted her thoughts. "Enter," she called. Her secretary poked her head in. "Ma'am, every news network is running the story. The images from the space telescopes have leaked." Carol nodded. She had expected this. "How are people reacting?" "Mixed, ma'am. Religious gatherings are forming in some cities. The stock market has suspended trading. There are celebrations in Times Square and some panic buying at stores. And the military?" "DEFCON 3, ma'am, as you ordered." Carol stood, straightening her jacket. She would address the nation in 1 hour. The speech on her desk had been rewritten 12 times already. How do you tell humanity that everything was about to change? "Tell communications to stick with the plan," she said firmly. "My message remains the same. We come in peace and curiosity. We have many questions, but also much to offer." Dr. Gregory Russell had never expected to use his linguistic skills in actual alien communication. Yet here he was, floating in the zero-gravity conference room of an alien spacecraft, face to face with a blue-skinned being who claimed to have studied human languages for centuries. "Your English is remarkable," he said to Ambassador Ilara. "Thank you," she replied, her accent sounding vaguely Scandinavian. "Though I still struggle with your idioms." Captain Jack Donovan floated nearby alongside Samantha Ellis and Dr. Nicole Patel. Alan Morris had remained aboard the Horizon, still working to understand what had happened to their AI. "Ambassador," Jack said, bringing the conversation back to more urgent matters, "you mentioned that your people have been observing Earth for 70,000 years. Why reveal yourselves now?" Ilara's expression changed subtly. Gregory was fascinated by how human-like her facial expressions were, despite her alien features. The revelation was not planned, she admitted. Our observation station near your Jupiter suffered a malfunction. You detected it sooner than our models predicted. Your technological progress has consistently outpaced our projections. And these observations? Gregory asked. What was their purpose? Understanding, Ilara said simply. Your species is unique in our experience. Most intelligent life follows predictable patterns of development. Humans do not. Nicole leaned forward. Is that why your signal affected our AI? Was it some kind of test? No, Ilara replied. That was an accident. The signal contained historical data about our first contact with your species, long before your recorded history. Your artificial intelligence appears to have an unusual capacity for integration and adaptation, another uniquely human creation. Jack's expression hardened. So for 70,000 years you've been studying us like lab rats, without our knowledge or consent? Gregory tensed. This was the reaction they had all feared, anger at the invasion of privacy. But Ilara surprised them all. Not like lab rats, Captain. Like teachers observing promising students. We have learned as much from you as you might learn from us. Teachers? Samantha echoed. What could an advanced species possibly learn from us? Ilara's eyes, strikingly violet against her blue skin, focused on Samantha. Creativity, adaptability, the capacity to make intuitive leaps that defy logical progression. These qualities are rare in the galaxy. Most species, including mine, advance through methodical, predictable steps. Humans regularly skip steps entirely. Back on Earth, NASA Director Frank Miller watched the first transmission from the Dawn Herald with a mixture of awe and professional jealousy. His team should have been there, should have been part of this historic moment. Instead, Captain Donovan had made first contact without authorization. Sir, Linda Shepard called from her station. We're receiving data packages from the horizon. Massive amounts of information. Frank hurried over. What kind of information? Linda stared at her screen, in disbelief. Everything, sir. Star charts, alien biological data, technology schematics. They're giving us their knowledge. Frank couldn't believe it. All of it? Why would they do that? There's a message from Captain Donovan, Linda said, putting it on the main screen. Jack's face appeared, looking tired but exhilarated. Houston, the aliens, they call themselves the Galactic Council, have made an offer. Full disclosure of their knowledge and technology in exchange for human creativity. They want us to join them, not as juniors, but as partners. They've been watching us for 70,000 years because they find us unpredictable. And apparently in the vast universe, unpredictability is a rare and valuable trait. Frank sat down heavily. After a lifetime looking at the stars and wondering, the answer was nothing he could have imagined. Aliens had found humans interesting, not for their technology, but for their unpredictability. As news screens worldwide showed the first official images of Ambassador Ilara, as religious leaders and scientists and politicians struggled to understand what this meant for humanity's future, one thing became clear. The relationship between Earth and the stars would be unlike anything in the Galactic Council's long history. Because humans, as they had proven for 70,000 years, didn't follow the rules. They made new ones. 10 years passed in the blink of a cosmic eye. Earth had transformed. Cities now featured alien architecture alongside human designs. Ships with faster-than-light engines traveled regularly between Earth and nearby star systems. Human representatives sat on the Galactic Council, their voices carrying surprising weight despite being the newest members. Researcher Zix-9, now director of the Department of Human Studies at the Galactic Academy, stood before an audience of mixed species. Among them sat Dr. Lily Winters, now 97 years old. As the oldest living human to interact with aliens, though she hadn't known it at the time, she had become a symbol of the new relationship between humans and the wider galaxy. After 10 years of open contact, 6-9 said, we still cannot predict human behavior with accuracy greater than 63%. This defies all known models of intelligent species development, the audience murmured. Such unpredictability was both fascinating and disturbing to most galactic citizens. On Mars, Zix-9 continued, engineer Alan Morris and his team have combined our gravity manipulation technology with human innovations to create a planetary shield that operates on principles neither human nor alien scientists had previously considered. Screens displayed images of the massive shield generators surrounding the red planet. Mars now had a thin but growing atmosphere, protected from solar radiation by the new technology. This is what humans call thinking outside the box, Zix-9 explained. It is their greatest strength. After the presentation, Dr. Winters approached the alien researcher who had studied her species for decades. "You know why you can't predict us, don't you?" she asked, her voice thin but clear despite her age. Zix-9 tilted his head. "Please, enlighten me." Lily smiled. "Because we can't predict ourselves. Our greatest strength isn't creativity or determination, or even intelligence, it's our ability to surprise ourselves." Later that day, Ambassador Alara sat with President Hansen in the Oval Office. 10 years of working together had formed an unusual friendship between them. "The Council has approved the Jupiter Alpha Centauri trade route," Alara announced. "It will be the first major shipping lane to include Earth." Carol nodded. "And our application for full Council membership?" "That," Alara said carefully, "is more complicated. Some members remain concerned about human unpredictability." Carol laughed. "After 10 years, they still don't trust us?" "On the contrary," Alara replied. "They value humans greatly. But consider, in 10 years your species has advanced more than most do in centuries. You've taken our technology and improved it in ways we never imagined. That frightens some council members. And you? Are you frightened of us?" Alara was quiet for a moment. "I am fascinated. Your species makes me question assumptions my people have held for millennia." Across the galaxy, in hidden corners of alien bars and public forums, in academic institutions and government halls, the debate continued. What made humans different? Why couldn't their behavior be predicted even after 70,000 years of study? The answer, when it finally came, was both simple and profound. Researcher Zix-9 included it in his definitive work, The Human Paradox. The defining quality of humanity is not their biology, technology, or even their emotional complexity. It is their consistent ability to be inconsistent, to defy prediction through what they call creativity. This quality makes them simultaneously the most frustrating and most valuable species in the known galaxy. Humans had become the endless puzzle of the universe, one that no amount of study could fully solve. And that, most aliens eventually agreed, was exactly what made them so important.